into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Guys, welcome to AfterBuzz TV. This is your Bachelor After Show. We're gonna get right into this because I'm sorry we're a few minutes late, but my God. First of all, we have Taylor Swift playing. She opened the Grammys with Out of the Woods, and it was phenomenal. We also have a brand new panelist on the show.
Yes,
Please
oh my gosh.
tell everyone your name, let them hear your beautiful voice.
Hey everyone, my name is Christina Diaz. I've been with AfterBuzz for a few years now, and I'm a huge
How huge?
Bachelor
Scale
fan.
of 1 to 10 right now.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Dear God.
And I know I can't replace Kathy Kelly, but
she's the best.
She is the best.
But
So I'm
you're
a huge fan,
as well.
and I'm so excited.
And Brooks booked an underwear modeling gig in Las Vegas. So
Yeah,
that's what Brooks
Brooks.
Forrester is. But we have 3 girls on the couch, so we're doing something special tonight. These young ladies are from not just any Bachelor viewing party. They are part of, actually, we have the creator of the Bachelor watch party in Los Angeles. I'm talking to, you have to get invited and then you have to accept a rose to get in. There is a point system. There's a whole draft. There's a redraft. There's money on the line. Just kidding. I don't know if you guys gamble. I didn't ask you. You wear gowns to the finale. Am I right, Melissa?
Oh, it's serious.
A huge
Oh
deal.
my gosh. We have Melissa, we have Courtney, and we have Jessica in studio hanging out with us. Ladies, how are you?
We're great.
Great, thank
Yeah?
you.
Awesome. How are you guys?
Okay, hold on. Jessica's wearing her. This is your. Usually, you have a Valentine's watch party tonight, but instead you are joining us. So I'm sorry to the other girls of your group who are watching us.
Oh, yeah, what are they doing?
They're watching.
Okay.
Absolutely.
They're watching and they're sad because it's actually our first hiatus ever.
Ever? In how many seasons?
Well, actually, this is our first season ever doing this. So I'm not going to act like we're old school. We're new school, but we came fierce and we came ready to like
We're dominating.
Bring it.
Really?
Yeah.
We did. This is like, we're new, but we are showing like.
You're new, but you're here to stay.
We are.
I love
We're
that.
not messing around. So, you know, we have like themes. So this was actually supposed to be our Valentine's Day viewing party.
Okay.
It's a big deal that we took a hiatus for this, but obviously it's well
Do I
worth
still
it
have
for
mine
you guys.
on? Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys
yeah,
get
yeah.
an honorary.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys
My
can
own
see.
2 league
Hey,
members wanna
listen.
put
Courtney,
on their
why are you
heads.
not wearing yours?
I tried. It's not for a lack of effort. It just
Oh, it
wasn't.
is.
It wasn't
It's just not working.
That's
So
definitely a lack
if
of
you're
effort.
tuning in, you can see
No,
what's
it's
happening
for lack
here.
of effort. I beg to differ.
Okay, so here's the deal. For those of you
Because I'm
just tuning in, last week, you know, we had Jensen Karp, we had Melissa Stetton on, we did a podcast. If you didn't catch it live, if you caught it late, we did a Bachelor podcast with them. This week, we're doing something different. We wanted to bring in a complete, unbiased fan perspective. So that's what's happening here today. So, we want you guys to be honest. We want you to represent the single ladies. I don't know if you guys are single, but the single ladies of the world. We want you to represent basically what is going on that we don't talk about here.
Amen. That's what we're here
Can you guys do that for us?
We can do that
Fair
for
enough.
you.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about you and your predictions at the end, but let's jump right in this episode because right off the top, and we'll talk about the wedding and Jade and Tanner. It was beautiful. Holy moly.
It really was, and their vow is dying.
Yeah, Christina's got the whole scoop on that. So
I do.
we're gonna talk about all that at the end of the show, but we want to go right into this episode because there's a lot. It's me and the girls tonight. So ladies, I'm gonna try to hold it down for the testosterone in the room, but let's go right at the top. Warsaw, Indiana. It's the week 4 hometowns. A lot of drama. Kristina, overall thoughts on the episode?
I think this was a big deal, the fact that they were in his hometown. What really killed me is when they first opened up the episode right away, it was Ben and his parents. And I feel like it was the most important part of the episode because how he described each of the girls to his parents really said a lot. And for me, set the tone for the episode.
Okay, so let's talk about this. Right away, he says, down to, and he goes, Becca.
Standoffish.
He said
Boom.
standoffish. Ladies,
Yes.
is that, you agree?
I do agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last
Why,
date.
Courtney, you saw her be standoffish?
Yeah, I think she holds back. I don't think she was ever really upfront with him, emotionally or anything. So
Really?
for me, she just and I like her. I think she's adorable. But yeah.
And also the first thing you mentioned that they came off of a hard week.
Mm-hmm.
And he did
Right.
that with Lauren B too, but he did it in a different way. Like with Becca, that was like the focus. There wasn't any like diversion.
Yeah.
And also with Becca coming off of Chris's season, like you saw the difference in like how she responded. And she was in it. She was showing herself emotionally, and it didn't make any difference to him, at least from how like I felt.
But you do have to remember that she came off of Chris's season, and she was not picked at the end, so she would be a little bit more reserved in this season.
True.
Yeah, but was she not? I feel like she wasn't picked in Chris's season, but her heart wasn't in it anyways. Obviously.
I totally agree.
So I mean, her
She
emotions
confirmed.
are totally different this
Right.
season.
but
totally
still,
different.
at the
That's
end of
still
the day,
yeah.
this is love, but it's also a game.
Okay, so early
It is.
question right off the bat then, because a lot of people are already asking, Becca, did she get a Bachelorette edit? Right off the bat, I want to know from the top, like, did she get a Bachelorette edit?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Ladies? And you guys? Does anybody think she did?
I hope not.
Like, I literally saw people tweeting today, they will not watch next season
If she's not.
if she's not the Bachelorette.
Really?
I think they brought. I think she came on it with hopes of that, and I think that a lot of people would love to see her as the next Bachelorette.
Oh, I'd love to watch it.
Yeah, I mean she's great. I just don't think it's happening.
You don't think it's happened?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
I don't know. I don't think you can underestimate her. The fact she came back.
Right. No one saw that
To be
coming.
honest, like, and I actually love her. I think she's like really sweet. But after Chris's season, I don't see any reason why she should have been brought back for Ben.
She wasn't brought back. She chose to come back.
She chose to come back, but let's be
They
real.
allowed her to come back.
Yeah.
They allowed her to, but I think it
Here-
was initiated by her.
Sure.
I think it was initiated by her, but ultimately she's like obviously has to be in the inner circle of
Sure.
like whatever's happening behind
Sure,
the
sure.
scenes. So I feel like there's something more going on there.
Well, let's read it. By the way, if you guys are joining us, you are welcome to join us on YouTube because we have a live chat roll.
Yes.
And people are chiming in right now and saying Becca's sweet but very blah. Cindy J says that. Fantasy Stats Guru says Becca seemed to have lots of potential. Seemed being the operative word. Yeah, Joseph Boza, I think producers were pissed that Farmer Chris didn't pick Becca. I think Becca will be on Bachelor in Paradise. I disagree with the Bachelor in Paradise part, but agreed. I think Becca is a piece of gold in the show that they haven't gotten a lot of seasons.
I do.
I agree. I think she could definitely be in the running.
Well, okay, so we haven't even got the second girl Ben talks to his parents about Jojo.
Jojo, first of all, let's just have a moment for Jojo because I feel like we all really love her. I know I personally do. And right away, Ben does also. I mean, he says that he feels more like himself with Jojo than anyone else.
Yeah.
If I were watching this back and I heard a guy say that about me, I'd be like, I mean, that's what you want to hear.
Oh, for sure.
By the way, if any of these girls are watching, Jojo, if you're watching, Becca, if you're watching, hi. Thank you
Hello.
for joining us.
Hi, girls.
We think you guys are amazing. These last 6 are probably my favorite well, 4 of them are my favorites that have gotten to the end of any Bachelor season in
I think
in
they're
recent
great.
years.
Agreed.
So,
Yeah.
And Jojo, no exception with Jojo. So,
Excellent.
okay. Next was Emily. Do you guys remember what he said about
Wait,
Emily?
we've got to step back
Wait,
to
yeah.
JoJo.
Yeah.
What else do you want to say?
You just wanted to roll right
Not
through
as a
that.
whole, just what he said to his parents.
Right, but JoJo, she is the one that if she is not the Bachelorette next time,
Is that okay? That's what you think?
Agreed.
Yeah.
then I don't think that you're going to get me to watch.
What
She's
a-
the one I relate to the most.
She still might win this season.
Right, but we're just talking
She is
about.
my number one choice. And when we went
To
into
win
be
or
with
for
Ben.
Bachelorette?
No, going into the league, she immediately. I picked
Okay,
her
let's
as
talk.
okay,
Hold on,
okay.
I'm gonna pause you right there. Let's talk about this. So with your
That's
guys'
right,
league,
JoJo.
right off the top, the way and correct me if I'm wrong. This is how I understand it. The girls walk out of the limo, first episode of the season. After they all walk out, you pause it, and you each have to pick how many.
5.
5.
Why 5?
That's what our league that we're.
That's what the league. That's what the
participating
league
in. Yeah.
League
rules
rules.
The
stipulate.
rules of the
League
league.
rules.
So not
Oh,
4,
the-
not hometown dates. 5.
5.
So real quick, do you guys remember your 5? Are they still alive?
Unfortunately, yes.
How many of your 5 are alive? Just I want to hear Courtney,
I think I have 2. Well, okay.
JoJo, and
Yeah, my whole like way that I chose them was off base.
okay.
Except for JoJo. And I immediately I loved her. She's my number 1 most confident, and the other 4, maybe there are 2 still left. Melissa might know. She tallies it up every week for us.
I do tally it up every week, but
How
to
am I
be honest,
doing?
there's a lot of details. And also, to be honest, Court and I have both been holding it down for like second to last place. I'm not going to call her out and tell her that she's actually been in last place.
I have.
Oh, so
And you've been
I-
second to
But
last.
I've been second to last, and I've been totally sucking, and all of my friends are like, oh, yeah, you've been loving The Bachelor since, I mean, like, I've been a long-time fan. The fact I didn't see the 20th special last night is
You have a
like,
busy
a
life. They
disgrace.
added an extra night to your life. So out of your whole group,
That's
who's number
it.
1?
She is.
Guys,
Boss Baller is sitting right next to me.
Boss Baller.
So I feel
number
like
one.
talking
Number
about
one.
our picks is like completely just null and void. We are sitting next to like.
So how many do you have left, Jess?
So going into this episode, I had 3
let the
left.
oracle
Okay.
speak.
We did have a redraft. I added one more to the
Yeah.
mix. And so going into this episode, I had 4, including my redraft.
Wow, that's impressive.
Guys,
Number 1.
there's a winner
Incredibly
sitting on the
impressive.
couch right now.
Okay, so the can I move on to the next person he talks to his parents
Emily.
about?
Right, but we just need to give
I think
JoJo
so.
her due
I
time.
think so, but I would also like to say, as like the commissioner of my league right
Yes,
now,
the
that is in
commish.
second to last place. I just have to like justify that as a Super Bachelor fan.
Yeah.
I justify my picks and why I'm in last place because I based it off of Ben, which we talked about earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
I based it off of Ben and his relationship with Caitlyn, and kind of thinking like he came in it for Caitlyn, so he's looking for that kind of like mold, and that's how I
Interesting.
drafted, which was a horrific mistake. One of my biggest regrets to date, but we've all got to live with our choices, and we move on. So
You
I'm
know what though?
sitting
One of
next
my
to
favorite
the
things about
champ.
Caitlyn is the girl who's down, who's funny, who gets it,
Yeah.
and
Right.
the
That's what I
most out of
mean.
all the girls, the most like that
Jojo.
is
Yes.
without a doubt JoJo.
I was just
Jojo.
going to say that too, 100%. I feel like actually, if there's any similarity, it would be JoJo.
You guys,
and
I said
Caitlyn.
I would have gone on the show if it was Caitlyn, and I almost went on the show.
Really?
Yeah, because that is the same. I'm the same as Ben. Like that's the kind of
And
girl I
I
want to be with.
totally agree, but I'm also the girl that draft, and I don't remember her name anymore, but I draft the girl in the pajamas because I'm like, she's down.
Did she hike the football?
No.
She wasn't the
I
football
rem-
hiker.
yeah.
She
Wasn't
came out
Leah?
in pajamas, and in retrospect, no guy wants to see a girl get out of a limo in pajamas. Like, let's be honest. But it's like
different.
a girl trying to gauge like girl personalities, and like that's what's happening.
Okay, where you were
so
going.
Esther D just asked, I think they should do a double bachelorette, but this time have both the ladies go through the whole process to find their person. I don't know about the whole process, but the double bachelorette thing was a hit.
It was.
It had something
I could see
going
that
for
happen
it.
again.
Yeah.
And I feel like actually, if it were to be like 2 of the final girls so far, I think guys would be way more torn, and I think like the Bachelor fan base would be really torn as
Yeah,
well.
Kaylin and Britt was pretty torn. This
Yeah.
could be like blonde brunette,
Yeah.
whole different,
It could be good.
2 different leagues.
If JoJo becomes the Bachelorette, I would like to see Danny Hoyt go on the.
I was
If
about to ask.
JoJo's the Bachelor, I will go down on a record saying if JoJo's the Bachelorette, I will 100% go on the show.
There you have it.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah,
it.
so-
Drop the mic.
Chat, will you
Show's
guys
over.
have that?
I might regret my words. Okay, next up, Emily. I still can't get over that it says she's a twin, but anyways. And he said that Emily grew on her own a lot, but there's still lots of questions, is what Ben told his parents.
Right.
Next up was Lauren. He said there's something about her that stands out since the moment I met her.
But
Kayla.
last week was hard, he also said.
Oh, that's right. He did say last week
Yeah.
was hard.
Challenge.
I can't take myself serious with these.
I
I'm
know,
gonna
wait.
set them
I see him in my.
Oh, guys, don't
to the
give
side.
up yet.
I'm not giving
I'm
up.
gonna
They're
hold
gonna
out.
stay on
I'm
my
gonna hold out
microphone.
for you.
Love
Fair
it.
enough.
You're sticking
Next
with
up
me.
is Kayla. Beautiful, but he said still scared she won't fall in love. And then Amanda. Not just beautiful, shockingly beautiful. And he says, 2 little girls, incredible, incredible woman. He gave her more compliments than any other girls when talking to his parents.
He did, but I felt like him saying kids sat like very heavy on him and on his like in his
Well,
parents.
it is. It's a
too.
heavy decision.
I
you know?
mean,
Should be.
I actually just got smacked in the face by the heart, so
By your heart.
now it's time.
It's a pun for
I
real
tried.
life.
Yeah. Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
Ooh, I just got called out for the second time threatening to try out for the show. Sorry, guys. Okay, maybe I'll do it. So let's do this. Let's go into the first one. I thought it was surprising, and I want to know what you guys on the couch, I want to know your opinion. He asks Lauren on the date in front of the other girls. I'm always I tend to feel for the other girls whenever there is something that happens in front of all of them, and he takes a girl away. That's like in your face. Not a date card. It's in your face. Lauren.
Isn't that prompted though? I would imagine
Sure.
by the producers.
Yeah, part of those are the
Because,
rules.
I mean, one of my favorite things about Ben is I do think he's a man of character, integrity, very sweet, very genuine, and I don't think he intentionally would try to hurt anybody in there.
Agreed.
But of course, yeah, that would be. I wouldn't like it at all.
One of my
Unless
favorite-
you were.
Picked.
Unless you
Yeah,
were
of
picked,
course.
because
Yeah.
Lauren
Lauren.
probably felt amazing.
Of course.
This is
Yeah.
true. One of my favorite actually parts of the show in general, like starting with that moment when he actually like picked Lauren in front of the girls, and then it kept on like the producers obviously had like a certain angle they were trying to go with it. They kept on having like the bench shots, the couch shots, the back of the limo shots where they just again it's coming down to like the last few girls, so they really want to like hone in on the emotion. But I'm sorry, I couldn't help to laugh. I just couldn't help it. This was cracking me up. Like they kept on doing the shots of all of them like just sitting there like with the worst
Stunned.
Yeah.
Stunned.
Yeah.
It was so uncomfortable. I felt for them, but it was also like so humorous. I'm sorry. Like I love those moments.
So yeah, he asked Lauren on a date. There's no rose on the date, but it was really cool. Like showed her the school, the church, the movie theater, the place he had the first kiss, and then the youth center. Which, my goodness, if America didn't already swoon over Ben, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like lifting kids up to dunk, the whole moment with Ronnie, talking to the kid crying against the wall.
Oh my gosh.
Ladies,
Eric.
I know you all love Ben. In fact,
Yeah.
I believe for our watch party, you guys have a saying for your watch party. It's "Don't need no men but Ben."
Yes.
So you guys are swooning. Now has your swoon level reached an all-time high? I need to know.
Oh my gosh. I mean, how do you even like compare Ben with anybody else? He's just like he's the full package for sure. If he weren't so young, I mean,
Right.
he's young. He's
But
young.
so cute.
How young?
So
Too young? 26, right?
He's
Too
young.
young.
Or is he 27 now?
He
Maybe,
may have
but
had a birthday. We don't
he
know.
might have.
We don't
Young
know.
enough.
I want to
Too young.
I definitely, there was like some swooning going on over Ben. Like, this was such a great date for him, but also I just couldn't help staring at Lauren. And I kind of like had that moment, you know, where people say, like, when there's a couple getting married and the bride, gosh, I'm definitely quoting movies right now, but they say that the bride is coming down the aisle and they turn to look at the groom to see how happy he is. That's how I
always
felt
did.
watching Lauren.
Yeah.
Because she just seemed so happy and like genuinely like you felt love.
I think a good tell of that is when they interviewed the 5 or 6 younger girls, and they were like, "She's so nice, she's so amazing."
gosh, yeah.
That's a great tell.
Like
It is.
I always liked Lauren, but in this episode, I was just really happy for her because I felt like they really grew together.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to watch. Did you guys notice anything new about Ben on this date?
Well, I think it confirmed how smooth he has been since the beginning.
I like your pun. See what you did there. Great job.
Because in 7th grade at the movie theater, he said to the girl, "I want to kiss you, but I don't know
Yeah, that
how."
was pretty smooth.
I mean,
Yeah.
this guy is smooth.
Yeah, and,
And
he
then
pulled that out with her.
he used it again with Lauren. So
Yeah.
that was the best. That was the best line.
He
And
does
it-
know what he's
7th
doing.
grade move
Yeah.
relevant.
Right. He.
I mean,
that
that's
might
next
be the
level.
best line of the entire
True.
season.
So far.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's
You're gonna go
possible.
out on a
It's
limb.
that it is the best line of the season. There's a strong possibility.
Not going to disagree with that. And how he like tied in crying Eric too. Like,
Uh,
crying Eric.
that was money.
Like, I mean, that was $1 million moment
yeah,
right there.
that was.
You know what was $1 million moment though? Let's be real.
Half-court
Ronnie,
shot.
Ronnie hitting the half-court shot. That was an unedited half-court shot.
That was amazing.
Like you know they do a lot, but that was an
Yeah.
unedited shot.
It was.
Because
That
he's
is
the real deal.
so cool.
I know Ronnie's the man.
That was a heartfelt moment.
Props
I mean, you.
to Ronnie. Let's
When I
like-
think of other seasons, you know, I don't
praise
think
for
of
Ronnie.
I don't think of moments like that with Juan Pablo or
No.
Chris.
No.
If we had
Right.
all of our, all
Oh,
of
our
our league
noisemakers.
props, we would be blowing our
What are
horns
your
right
league
now.
Totally.
props?
Oh,
What are
our
we talking
I
noisemakers.
about?
brought a few of them.
Yeah, we have our horns that we usually blow when any of our contestants, score points.
Whoa,
There's
Wait,
Wait,
hold
would
on.
Ronnie get a blow?
We gotta talk about this for a
For
little
sure.
bit.
Ronnie
For
would,
sure.
Ronnie would get some horn blowing going on.
Okay, horn blow. You guys have
We'd blow our
kazoos?
Just out of
horns.
support.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
Essentially.
We do.
Party horns.
Party horns, and then
Yeah.
when there's a point scored,
Yeah.
how are
They-
points scored? Give me how many points? Kisses.
Kisses,
cries.
crying.
I love you.
Yeah.
So you guys all watch in the living room, and a kiss happens. You guys all blow a kazoo.
If you,
Because your contestant.
yeah.
So
If that's your
You're getting the
contestant.
points.
So there's actions, phrases, and roses. So say like
Really?
you ride in a helicopter, you get, that's.
So
what
the
you
whole
guys
episode
point
is just
there.
kazoos going off left and right.
Absolutely.
How we
If
roll.
But right now, Jessica's blowing the most kazoos.
Done.
Absolutely. It was just like
Okay,
blown
okay.
out.
Yeah.
I'm glad I
So
understand.
how many
Right.
points did you get on this date then?
Yeah.
Ooh, we don't know yet because the
go
points
back and
master
tell.
is
Yeah.
sitting
So
right
Melissa
here.
Okay.
and not
will
done.
rewatch
She
and
does
tell.
the breakdown.
She's been killing it.
But
Her-
I'm happy to pull up where we stand so
Of
far.
course you are. Of course you are.
I believe it.
gonna
You're number
relish
one.
in it.
Um,
She's gonna relish in it. Can I pause 1 second
Yeah,
to talk
talk-
about
Yes.
also the how impressive that date was with Lauren and Ben? But Lauren,
Yeah.
I mean, talk about how many points she scored, not just Ben scoring.
Right.
I mean, she was scoring so many points with the kids, like just how much engaging she was. She was like double dutching, like the whole deal. And then even her b-ball in love, like she was like super stoked at the
Yeah.
Indiana Pacers. I mean, that's major points. Let's be real. Like a girl that even knows the team, that's her sport.
She said she
I
was
don't
in
know.
the
You
basketball
tell me. That's like,
Yeah.
is that
She
not
would- yeah.
major
Well,
points?
I'm huge into basketball. I
Yeah.
played college basketball for like 2 seconds.
Okay.
Basketball's my so
you're a pro.
first of all, Paul George, George Hill, Frank Vogel, and
Yeah.
Boomer or whatever his name is, the mascot, walk in, and granted she probably had to be told the names, but still. That's way cool. I think that my thing that I would have rather seen.
Yeah.
Let's
correct
hear
me,
it.
I would have
Just saying.
rather watched the conversation she had with Ben's friends at Rex's Rendezvous, or whatever the local dive bar was.
Yeah.
This is
I would have
true.
liked to seen how she,
How she
Ben's,
interacted with
Ben's
his
catching up
friends.
with his homie from high school.
Right.
I want to see how she talks to his girlfriend. I want to see what that conversation, if she carries it,
Yes.
if it's weird. I would have loved to see even like 3 minutes of that.
Why was
I
that
think you're
edited?
absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That would have been great.
I don't think there's something bad that happened. I just think they wanted to show us the kids.
But
'cause
maybe
it's,
it just went so well. And that
Maybe.
would have been clear.
but for me,
She's
those
the
are more
winner.
practical signs.
True.
I mean, first of all, it's just a huge deal that he brought her to meet his friends.
Yeah.
And Hydro Knight just pointed this out on the chat roll. But Ben did call Lauren his girlfriend. He said, "It's always been a
Yes.
dream of mine. I've been waiting for years where my girlfriend is next to me and I'm with my
Yes.
friends in my
Yes.
comfortable place."
That's true.
And she
That's
said
a-
she was in love, I
She
think.
did. Well, then
She
that's the last part of the
did.
thing. She says, "I'm not in love." This was a great line too. My guys, if we're talking about lines, she goes, "I'm not in love with Ben the Bachelor." Pause. I'm in love with Ben from Warsaw, Indiana.
Yes,
and yeah,
that was good.
and then she goes,
So
and yeah, I'm in love with Ben. And she was beaming.
She was beaming, like just glowing. Like I was in love with Lauren.
On the
Yeah.
flip side, as a guy, like that's what you want your guy
Yes.
or your girl to talk like.
Absolutely.
Are you kidding me? Like that was incredible.
It was a
She
it was a
dropping
great date.
Major L bombs.
Major
L
albums.
bomb was dropping major.
The kazoos
L-bombs.
would have been flying. Like would have
Oh.
been going nuts.
Kazoo's next level.
How would your kazoo been going? Did you pick her?
I did. I got her in the redraft.
And my
so
redraft, I did
can't
the same,
say
yeah.
That she was my initial pick. Clearly, I was bad.
She was my initial pick to become Mrs. Higgins.
And do you still
Well-
feel that way?
She's,
Did you? Yeah.
I think
Yes.
this is the place where
Okay.
Jess really wants to tell her points for the season.
No,
like,
because
let's-
Okay, read 'em
I
off.
would like to, but I
Let's-
can't
let's
find
get
the
her
email
back
that you
on.
sent.
Ah.
So if you want to pull
Oh.
up the points and
I
let
can
us
tell
know.
you.
How
yes, she can-
strategic of you.
Right.
Well-
I'll let Melissa announce it.
Speaking of Mrs. Higgins, on the next date we actually see Mr. and Mrs. Higgins because they're on the
do.
back of their jerseys. We see Jojo and it says "Let's find love in the Windy City." Can we get an exact number of miles between where they were in the Windy City, ladies?
I don't know,
I
but
believe
it's
one of you
but
Google
it
mapped
is
this.
2
Yeah.
hours and 12 minutes.
2 hours and 12
Hang
minutes.
on, I will tell you. It's 120.7 miles.
So they
Okay.
drove for this date 120.7 miles away from Warsaw, Indiana. Did they get to spend time in a car together?
Interesting.
In a
good.
black SUV?
That's good.
Did they
That's
drive?
good talk time.
That's great talk time.
Yeah.
No cameras?
No cameras.
At least that we didn't see. They didn't show us any of it.
We didn't see the
Did they,
talk
were
time.
they separate cars? Did they? I have to assume they drove together.
Oh yeah, are we
Yeah.
sure they even drove?
So I
Did they
have to
drive?
assume they had an
Separate
extra.
helicopter.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Together in a helicopter.
Look, The
Bachelor's
Bachelor
got
has
a
money.
nice
Well, maybe now
budget.
that they're using
Wow.
McDonald's, maybe they do have that kind of
Yes.
money. We'll get to that,
Let's
guys.
not go there now. There's too much to say
Jeez.
on that front.
But I have to believe they had an extra 5 hours together, ish, in this car.
I feel like they would have shown it.
I think so too.
Ooh, but
Tell us
don't
what you guys think.
think
I
If
wanna know.
not, they should have shown it. I wanted to see that.
I would love
Don't
to
you
see
think
it.
that would have
Huge.
ruined what was about to happen on the date if
Maybe.
they had shown it?
Yeah.
I would have. Okay. Do you think maybe they had a limo and there was a privacy wall and they literally just had to hold back to a
No.
limo?
Ooh.
Why not?
Did they go partition? Were they like?
I would. They were
Drive
still
around up
talking.
the partition, please.
Yeah.
Just a little Beyonce. No big deal.
Hey Jojo, if you're watching.
Hey, so
Let us
let's
know.
talk about this date, JoJo. Let's talk about this. Love in the Windy City. I want to walk away being more confident in the relationship and putting all the doubts aside. Quoted by
Okay.
JoJo.
I have to interject.
Go,
so
Courtney.
What I loved is what JoJo said that she needed. He literally complimented it by saying exactly what he wanted to give her. Was that same thing?
Did he? What did he say?
Yeah, he said, I want to make sure that JoJo feels confident, that she knows that she's cared for. I don't know word for word on that one, but I just remember it was a perfect match. Like what she was concerned about, he was meeting her right there.
Really?
Right? Did anyone catch that?
Yeah,
Did you guys catch that?
I got that.
Okay. I love that.
That's a huge
No,
deal.
we're not-
So they're on the same page without even trying to be on the same page.
They weren't trying. I don't think they talked about it.
I think something that I really noticed in this date and in Lauren's is that they were both dates that really meant something a lot to Ben, and they weren't, like, oh, this will be like a fun helicopter ride. Like, he's bringing her to Wrigley Field. He says that when he met up with his dad, that's like one of the first things they talked about. This obviously means a lot to him, and the fact that he chose her to share, this experience with a once in a lifetime experience, and had a Mrs. Higgins jersey.
Yeah, Mr.
That's
Mrs.
huge.
And then called her Mrs. Higgins on it.
Yes, he did.
When she called him Mr. Higgins, though, she was like, Mr. Higgins.
It's like Mr. President.
Yes, that's what I thought of. I was
Yes.
like, oh my gosh.
Danny's ready to drink it.
But everything what you're saying is what made me so nervous for how at least it was edited at the beginning, because I was like, I'm so nervous.
You were
for
nervous?
her.
Oh, in the beginning of the
Because she was,
episode.
like, I felt like she was being really standoffish. Like even at the point when they were like had the two separate jerseys that they showed.
Yeah.
She was like, Mrs. Higgins, that sounds nice. Like she was weird about
You
it.
think
Anybody
so?
else-
No,
I
didn't pick up on
took copious notes because I was like, that
Yeah,
was
you did.
weird.
Guys, she was like 6 pages deep.
Yeah.
It's like going. I mean, I was really worried. I'm like, Jojo, what's your deal? Like, I don't know. Maybe I was reading her wrong, but I could like sense her hesitation, which was good to see her vocalize it and like talk through it and own it. Like,
Yeah.
she was totally being weird. Like, she was talking about how much she was like holding back, and Ben was talking about how he was sensing it, but like how it all played out and how they worked through it on the date, and she ultimately ended up opening up was like really, really reassuring. She for sure redeemed herself. But
Yeah,
it
she
turns
opened
out
up.
Rocky.
She said, I can
I
confidently
don't
tell you that I care
know.
about you
No?
more than anything.
I feel like, right, that which
Yes,
is huge.
that's huge.
But I feel like as soon as they joined and she like jumped on him and like kind of like straddled him, I was like, okay, like they seemed so comfortable to me from the very
I
beginning.
sensed weird body language on the field. Like, I don't know if you like remember any of after like, you know, she did the first, you know, at bat. And
Yeah.
He came over to like grab her. She was being a little like weird.
Really?
I sensed
I
weird
didn't
body.
pick up on
Watch
that.
it back.
Me neither.
Watch
See?
it back. I'm just saying.
I did
I-
not notice.
Just
I
saying.
feel like I relate the most to her.
Yeah.
That you have weird.
Yeah, and I'm weird.
Which is major next Bachelorette points, by the way, if she doesn't win, because that's what they want is relatable.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why. I think that she
Did
said
you
it.
sense any of that?
Well, but she said that unless she's secure in a relationship
Yeah.
and she's confident in it, that like she doesn't feel like she can really open up and be vulnerable. And I relate to that.
So maybe she
For
was
sure.
there and then she got to it because she did say, "Don't doubt me because I'm still Team Ben. I'm more Team Ben than I've ever been."
Absolutely.
Right.
Which sounds like a
I
Dr.
love
Seuss
her. I
rhyme.
think she's amazing. This is by no means a knock on her. I just like sensed her like hesitancy. I felt like it was like really predominant at the beginning of the date, and then
Sure.
it ended up like opening up. Did you sense that? at all?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's
Thank
also,
you
I
for
think,
remembering.
why I feel like I relate the most
Yeah.
to her.
For sure.
Well, I will say this: we have a lot to get through. So, any other thoughts on JoJo before we move to the group date?
I mean, when he dropped the Mrs. Higgins on her, and then she
Yeah.
was going straight for like the Team Ben, it was like just beautiful.
Yes,
Yeah.
they were in sync.
Fireworks.
For sure.
I'm surprised they didn't actually have fireworks
I know.
because at most
Oh,
baseball games they
agreed.
do. I'm
Agreed.
surprised they didn't have literal fireworks.
Yeah.
They should have.
And he just said something to her, said something about her, and I can't remember if it was right after the date or not, if it was later on, but he said something about this passion that they have together. And I just kind of feel like whenever a guy drops like passion, it holds a lot of ground, in my opinion.
Well, there we go. Okay, so the group date: Kayla, Becca, and Amanda, and there is a rose. No rose on the one-on-ones, but there is a rose on the group date. Paddle boating right away, which one of you guys pointed out. This was super weird, but how did Kayla just get picked to
Right.
go alone, and Becca and Amanda are like, "I guess we're going over here." Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
we don't know.
we rewound it
She's
and
not
watched
to
it
be
again.
trusted. I
Super
don't
weird.
know. I'm sorry.
Who,
I'm sorry.
Kayla?
No. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Overall
Kayla.
thoughts.
Yeah.
To,
Yes, Kayla.
what's the?
Kayla, I think, actually,
Yeah, as females, I'm really curious about this.
as a female, I was very disappointed in Kayla this episode because I did like her, but she said that she almost like wants to cling on to a guy, and I
Find her identity.
yeah, to find her identity, and I feel like Ben wants someone who's more independent. At least I think he does. We'd have to ask him, but I feel like she kind of like drowned herself for me when he hugged her or she hugged him.
Yeah.
It was just
And
terrible.
from my perspective, her downward spiral started way before just this episode. Like
last episode was bad.
when they like had that whole, it felt so weirded out by their whole conversation.
Yeah.
I felt like she was trying to play some like weird like
Game.
Jedi like mind tricks on him.
I love you
Of
use
like,
Jedi mind trick.
I'm gonna like try to pull back to make you like me more. And I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna call it. From the second she stepped out of the limo and she talked about dumping her ex-boyfriend now for Ben, I'm sorry, is that not like huge red flag to
Oh no, it's huge.
else?
Yeah,
Like
because
crazy?
none
Why
of
is
you.
nobody talking about that? It's weird.
Well, I guess none of you have been in this room before. Yeah, we've talked about this. Like
Okay,
that's
okay.
super. If you can do that, it's
bizarre.
like the whole idea of like if somebody can cheat once, why could they not?
Yeah.
Do, you know, what I mean? it's a trend. It's a pattern.
I just feel like she's not genuine with her feelings towards Ben.
Agreed.
What I don't understand, I actually tweeted this. Somebody said that this date reminded them of The Notebook. Did they say it on the show, or did someone say that on the show?
Yes.
Why has The Bachelor not done any Notebook-ish dates ever until this? I mean, there was even the rain. Are you kidding me? How is that not happening?
I know. That is true. I
It's
don't know.
like a fantasy. Like people have fantasies based on the movie The Notebook.
Absolutely.
Anyways.
Well, maybe next season we'll see even more.
So you talk to each girl individually, and there's 3 things that I noticed. Amanda says, I've never introduced any man that I've dated to my kids. I believe, Jessica, you said you were like, I'm not sure about that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it was that she would not have been ready a few weeks before. That's what I'm
that's
calling.
what you were saying.
Yes,
So you
that's
think she would have been ready a while ago?
yeah.
Gotcha.
I think that if any of those girls had been given the opportunity to introduce him to their families or their kids, please. There's an element of this that it's still a game and everybody wants to win.
Yeah. Well, and then we see, so then with Becca, and I know we have a lot to get through, so I'm trying to rush through this. But then Becca, he says she's not getting what others are getting, which we all kind of noticed that too.
Right, absolutely.
Right.
And then Kayla talking about trees and growing together was their conversation. I was kind of like, huh?
I just can't believe she said I've been molded to be adaptable. And I think I'm adaptable, and I think that it's an important quality to have, but I just, I don't know. I think when you're like fighting for the love of your life,
Yeah.
you know, there should be more
Okay.
than that.
Also, just back to Becca really quick. This is the first time that she's publicly said she wasn't as into Chris.
Correct.
Yeah.
Can we please address that?
Yeah.
I mean, she was the almost one. Came down to her and that other girl.
Whitney.
Gosh, how quickly. You
Right.
like get caught up in the new Bachelor. Ben's just has me distracted. But I thought that was very interesting that she said that. And you could tell because she's so much more emotional about it.
Right.
Which was clear, especially if you compare to how she was on Chris's season. But I just thought that was really interesting.
Well, she said she needed a one-on-one from Chris because she didn't think she was falling in love with him. She needed more time.
Right.
Yeah.
And now she needs it because she knows she is falling in love with him or falling for him, and she needs that time.
Just so you guys know, we have about 10 minutes left, and we still got to get through Emily, so I want to make sure. Is there any other thoughts on the group date besides the fact Amanda gets it? And let's talk about this. They go to McDonald's.
Ugh,
Let's
I
not
can't
talk
even-
about
Let's not
that.
talk
Can't
about that.
even. That is
Just so
fun
everyone's
out.
listening, no, we all were really annoyed they went to McDonald's.
Yes.
And they
My
ordered
And that they had
breakfast for dinner.
breakfast.
Sell out to Chick-fil-A. Anything else, just not
Right.
McDonald's.
Good Lord,
No.
let your advertisements be
Yeah.
off.
Product
Yes.
placement.
Yeah.
Whatever. Okay, so they go, Emily one-on-one, they go to the house that he grew up in. That's a big tell. I was thinking, like, you take a girl to that's a big deal. But her conversation with the parents, what did she say? She wants to be a
NFL cheerleader.
Yeah.
for the Broncos.
Broncos.
She also said that
If she could be free every day, she'd watch
movies, and that she doesn't like vegetables.
Ladies, is this indicative of her age?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's 23?
Also, I just don't think she knows Ben well enough to say anything else.
I think she doesn't know herself well enough
I
to
mean,
say
agreed.
anything.
Jessica,
That's
that's
true.
very true.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think that's just age. I think it's maturity. So, yes,
Yes.
age plays a factor. That probably jumped 10 years, and at 33, she won't be saying those same things.
Yeah.
But I think it's about her maturity. And I'm sure she's an incredibly sweet girl. But
Yeah, I'm sure she's super sweet. I just don't think, I think they're way farther apart than the 3 years
Absolutely.
their age
Right.
gap says.
And well, that's what his mom kept saying too. She's still trying to find herself.
Okay, honest question. Was it too harsh when he said, I just don't think I can see you being my wife? Should he have let her down a little softer?
No.
She didn't seem too offended by it, so
It
no.
was out of character for Ben, though.
It seemed
I was
harsh for
embarrassed
Ben.
by it. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, usually Ben
Kick
is
glass.
much more smooth.
Yeah.
With his words and just his sensitivity level for all of the girls. So I was actually taken aback by
Agreed.
how.
But I appreciate
His honesty.
his honesty
Agreed.
and that it was clear. There was no
Yeah.
room for interpretation.
No.
He was very clear.
Right.
And I think in the long run, that's probably better for her that it was just a clear cut no.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just.
I just hope if she comes back or during interviews or after the final rose that there's something else to describe her besides twin. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I think that after the final rose is going to be really interesting. It won't be drama. It'll be more emotional, I think, than ever. But alas, we move on to the rose ceremony. 3 roses, 5 girls. Well, I guess it's 4 at this point, technically.
Yeah. Right.
Because Emily's gone. Amanda already has one. Lauren B's first. Which, by the way, that white jacket and the red shirt.
Danny was loving her.
She looked incredible.
She did.
Are you kidding me? And then Jojo, with the little flower dress. She looked great as well. And then Kayla.
Were you surprised by Kayla? With
I
Becca?
was. I thought he was going with Becca, especially after like the moss growing in the trees conversation.
I was really surprised and disappointed as well. And I feel like Becca is more genuine and wanted it more and should have been there instead of Kayla.
I would love to see Ben at home with Becca's family.
And that's honestly what I'm like cringing about. Like, I'm sorry, but I just like thinking about that whole scene and everything she was saying about like, I love that you have community. It was like, okay, I get it that everybody has different levels.
Yeah.
Of, you know, kind of like how deep their community goes. But that was like a really kind of like scary telling thing for me. Like,
Sure.
To not have community, to be vocalizing that, I feel like that's kind of really telling as a person. Like,
Yeah.
you may not be somebody with like, you know, a huge group of friends, but to not kind of have like your core people and feel confident in that, I feel like it's kind of telling of her.
The type of person
Which
you are.
She just, there's, I mean, a whole slew of kind of like red flags surrounding her in my book. And that, I'm sorry, I think she's like a sweet girl. I'm not trying to like knock her, but just kind of like there's some weird things going on with that.
Courtney, Jess, any thoughts? Becca?
That makes me sad. I mean, if that's really how she feels in her situation in life, I think she struggles with insecurities and she's vulnerable, and then she puts up her wall just as quickly as she takes it down. So I think she needs to figure that out, but I feel bad. That makes me feel bad for her.
Sure.
I think it was time for Becca to go.
Yeah.
I do too.
I think that it was the most clear that he was sure that it wasn't her. So I think it was time for her to exit before involving family.
And also she said, please don't blindside me. So I think that's why he decided to.
So you think he was actually probably doing something respectful?
Agree.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so we're down to 4. Lauren B, Jojo, Kayla, Amanda. The only difference I had in my final 4 was I had Becca instead of Kayla. That was my first episode of the season. Yeah, it's my only. Okay, so any other thoughts on this episode before we move on to hometown previews and then the wedding last night? We got 3 minutes left. 4 minutes.
Oh wow.
No, I'm excited for next week.
I'm excited for next week too. We see.
Next week
Okay, the big tears. I know you guys were like. We were in the middle, and Courtney goes, "Oh my gosh, I forgot all the tears for this episode." And Ben cries, but I guess it's gonna be next episode.
Right.
And who do you think it has to do with? I want to know who you on the couch think it has to do with.
Well, the spoilers made it seem like it was Jojo.
Jojo.
It made it seem that way, but you
does
know The
make it
Bachelor, they always switch things.
Totally.
Maybe Amanda. Oh, you know what? Maybe Amanda. I don't know, because the kids were crying.
We do see
they
Ben with the
asked if you
kids.
wanted to be an instant dad.
Yeah,
and he had a.
That's definitely going to be
Great
the
dad,
hardest
great
hometown
dad versus
date.
instant dad. Her
Yes.
dad said it. I think he'll be a great dad. Is he ready to be instant dad? I wrote that down.
I mean,
That is
that hometown date is for sure going to be the most difficult for Ben.
Heartstrings for sure.
Yes, absolutely. And
Okay.
then JoJo's.
The 2 brother drama.
Ooh.
I don't know what
that's
that's all
tough.
about. What did
I
they
don't know.
say? One of them said
Oh, you're so manipulative or conniving or.
to Ben, like you brainwashed.
Yes.
He said brainwash.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You brainwashed all these guys. I can't think that that's actually what we think it means right now. I can't think he actually says that to Ben.
I don't know.
I think that's edited.
I think so too.
I agree.
I hope.
so.
That might be really
That's
harsh.
weird.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine Ben comes all the way to someone's home and then someone's family member says that in that tone. It has to be edited.
But maybe he says it to JoJo and then it kind of affects the way she sees Ben, and that's how it all.
I
goes
could
down.
see a brother being super protective, and when they come into this, they don't know him.
Yeah.
They don't know what's gone on up to this point. So I could see a brother being super protective and that being his
reaction.
We've seen it before. I mean,
reaction to The Bachelor in general.
Well, big shout out to Ray back in the engineering studio. Ray, can we get news and gossip real quick? Christina's going to break it down in 30 seconds.
Okay.
Tell us about the wedding last night.
Jade and Tanner got married. Carly sang. She was also a bridesmaid. Seal sang.
Seal sang.
Goals.
Goals.
Ben admitted that he was in love with 2 women. major Bachelor couples were there. Trista and Ryan, Caitlin and Sean, Catherine and Sean, and there's a lot of focus on Jared and Ashley I. And there is the wedding roundup.
Well, and also, Ashley, I had a nonprofit thing. I was texting Nick. He was going to try to come on tonight, but he's heading. He was there for the charity, which, by the way,
it was in New York.
An article this morning. The lady spent $5,600 to spend 45 minutes with Nicholas Vial. Ladies, would any of you spend that?
No.
Nick's a great guy.
I don't know.
I'm gonna pass on
On
that
a
one.
charity, yeah.
Nick, you're
On a
welcome.
charity?
Come
Courtney's
to
like,
our
yes, I
wedding.
would.
Yeah.
What does it go to? McDonald's? Sure. The Ronald
On a
McDonald
man, I
House?
don't know.
Absolutely.
Right, but he is invited.
Yeah, Nick, you're always invited over
To a viewing
our,
party.
Yeah.
I know, to our Bachelor League. Sorry,
Maybe
won't
Nick,
pay
maybe
you.
Nick and I'll come join you guys
Come
for
join
1
us.
week.
Sounds
we'll
good.
do
Doors
it.
always
We'll
open.
live stream from your living
Love
room.
it.
Love it.
Every
Okay,
time
so-
doors
I'm there.
open.
Ladies, first of all, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
You guys are
having us.
phenomenal. I would love for you to tweet out a picture so I can retweet it for our fans to see what your living room looks like on a Monday night.
Got it.
Can you do that next week?
I want
we
rose
can.
petals everywhere.
So
by
for
the
all you
way.
guys that are listening, they wear, and those of you that are listening on podcast, you can't see, they wear Valentine's Day things on Valentine's episodes. What kind of gowns do you wear at the finale?
Well, hello. That's left for the most dramatic rose ceremony.
So-
We can't tell you that.
Promise me this. You will tweet a picture or text me a picture that I can tweet
Ball
out.
gown.
Done.
Get
of the
ready
ball
for it.
gowns.
Done.
Do you guys bring in a photographer?
Well, we're
Can I
going
be
to-
the
Are you
pho-
sending
can,
it?
can I be the can I be the
Sure.
photographer?
Sure.
Maybe
We're
that's
actually
the one you
inviting
should come
Chris
to.
Harrison and Ben to my living room as well with their camera
This is
crew.
official
Ooh.
invite.
Open door. Just
Official
let them know.
invite.
Open door policy.
Right.
Alon, if
It's
you're
out
listening,
there.
Chris Harrison, if you're listening, that is the
Yep.
watch party you guys should be at this year.
Thank ya.
I am hoping, I'm crossing my fingers that your guys' watch party is the one they walk in on.
That would be
Whatever strings we
amazing.
have.
Oh my gosh, that
I
would be
will-
incredible.
I will pull
I
all
believe
of them.
dreams come true. We're sitting here tonight.
If it happens, you guys are going to come back on for the Bachelorette
Oh, you
and
know
tell
it.
us all the details. What
Yes.
really happens, if you knew beforehand, if you saw the car pull up, I want to know everything.
Fair.
Fair.
Dish.
Deal.
You're
Okay.
our guy, Danny.
Now, before we go, we're going to go around the room and I want you to tell me your winner after tonight's episode, your winner.
Okay.
Starting with Miss Jessica.
Lauren B.
Lauren B. Melissa?
I'm gonna follow the champ.
Lauren
Court?
B.
Lauren B.
Lauren B.
Good God!
Yours?
Really?
Yeah.
Are you going with JoJo?
Danny.
Selfishly?
Yes.
Lauren
Lauren B.
B.
I knew it.
It's a sweet.
Okay. Now, who does everyone want to be the next Bachelorette?
JoJo.
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 Yeah, I think it's JoJo.
Okay.
Gosh, are we all in unison?
Yeah, I think that's
We
happening.
need Brooks Forrester here just to shake things up a little bit. Jeez. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. In the meantime, guys, have fun at your watch party. We will look for these pictures. And also, in the meantime, Kristina, where can people find you on social media?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Zias.
You guys can find me on everything at Danny Hoyt except for Snapchat, which is DannyHoyt47. For those of you that are saying you didn't know the show was late, I will always try to tweet it out. I was Snapchatting personal messages to you saying we're going to be 2 hours earlier, so I'm sorry if you just joined us and you're wondering what's going on. A big thank you to Jessica and Melissa and Courtney for joining us here on AfterBuzz TV. Thank you, Ray, in the studio, for all of these guys and The Bachelor. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or
From
principals.
executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.